Hey YouTube, what's up? It's me, Amaxter. We're back with episode 13 of Behind the Mod. For this episode, we have RyanTheAllmighty, the creator and I guess maintainer of the ATLauncher, which is one of the big three, I guess, Minecraft mod pack launchers. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So ATLauncher, I guess it's been out for how many years now?
I think it's coming on its fifth year, maybe.
Yeah, so it's been
It's
out for about as long as like FTB, or maybe it's pretty old, I guess.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's been in many different forms over the years. But yeah, in its current form, yeah, we came out I think just before FTB publicly released their launcher. But it's hard to tell the exact timings because things have got lost over the years, unfortunately.
So I guess what inspired like the idea for ATLauncher is this sort of mod pack launcher? I guess you guys weren't the absolute first. I mean, that'd probably be Technic, but you guys, I guess, were pretty early on in just being a mod pack launcher. You were among the first. So where did that inspiration come from?
Yeah, I don't think anyone can actually beat Technic. I mean, they were around for a long time.
Those goons, yeah.
But they're the first modded Minecraft I played, so definitely we couldn't have beat them. But yeah, I mean, we started out as a group of four YouTubers called the A Stocky team. Myself, A Stocky, Hey Yorkie, and D Wingit. We basically created mod packs for our respective YouTube channels, and we wanted to share them, so we created uh, pretty much a launcher, which at the time was nothing more than batch and shell scripts, which opened up your browser and told you where to download files. So at that time, it was pretty primitive, but it kind of got our packs across to I guess our subscribers, and that's kind of where it started, and just took off from there, and got to where we are today.
And where did the name ATLauncher come from?
Well, because we were originally the A Stocky team as a YouTube team, it was originally called the A Stocky Team Launcher, but as time got on, that kind of got a bit of a mouthful, and as a domain name, it's not particularly great, so kind of just shortened it down to AT Launcher, being A Stocky Team Launcher.
Huh, and I guess from then you've kind of evolved it into what it is now, being basically a full-featured launcher for mod packs.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And I guess at what point would you say you enabled because you obviously from the beginning you had this vision of having multiple packs on it, but what kind of when did you start allowing third-party packs onto the launcher?
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't start accepting public packs until version 3 of our launcher, which memory serves me is not great. I think, yeah, having trouble remembering, but it's been about 3 years now since we started version 3, which did have public packs. So, I mean, at that time, the four of us who had our own packs on our own launcher kind of we were tapering off and weren't really updating the packs as much, and kind of some of us had gone away from YouTube, so I made the decision as being the developer to kind of open it up and see what floodgates opened would cause, and it kind of turned out as it did.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when the Technic guys were on here, they were basically talking about how with them, because they opened up their platform too at one point, and that's what both of you guys are kind of known for. Like, of course, you approach that in very different ways. But Technic, they said, I guess their packs, kind of their official packs, obviously they don't release them too often, and they felt like the community was kind of outdoing them, so they opened up the launcher to kind of do that. So did you kind of get this feeling that there was a big potential for third-party packs to kind of have their spot on your launcher?
Oh, definitely. I mean, thinking about it, we couldn't keep just having our four packs on it. It's kind of a dull launcher if you've only got four packs on it, and us four aren't the most creative, or at least I know I wasn't. Um, so yeah, I mean, we opened it up. I mean, the first people we ever talked to was the Resonant Rise people. I mean, they kind of, I guess, steered us towards doing this as well, because they were talking about it on Twitter, Kieran, Dave, and all that. And as they were our first, I guess, third party pack, they kind of shaped a lot of the way of which we ended up going because we were catering to them, and it turned out as it did, and it's great. It was great to work with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the history of the ATLauncher, you have some really big third-party packs that have kind of had birth on the launcher. You've had Sky Factory, which kind of, I guess, you know, these big Skyblock packs with questing and stuff, and of course you've had Resonant Rise, which I think at one point became the Yogscast pack, and is basically at one point was, and I guess still is, the like dominant kitchen sink pack if you don't count FTB and Infinity. It's like it's one of the big two at least. So you have those two really big third party packs on the launcher. So I guess, do you think has that had influence on like the actual development of the launcher itself?
I mean, definitely, because these guys, Resident Rice is a big pack. I mean, there's so many options. They've got like sub packs within their pack, and in order to cater for that, we worked with them and figured out, hey, what do you need your users to be able to do? And we've gotten many things, features added to the launcher, which directly caters to what they would have liked to have seen. And we don't just do this for the big packs. I mean, anyone's who uses the launcher and the pack has a pack on the launcher is comes and gives us ideas and tells us what they want to see, and we have a look and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I think probably the feature that sets ATLauncher apart is probably optional mods. And Resonant Rise, I think, makes huge use of that. Where basically, when you are asked to install that pack, you get the option to basically there's a few presets. You can be like, oh, I want this version that focuses on tech mods, or this version that focuses on aesthetic mods, or whatever. And that optional mods thing lets packs basically. It opens up a lot more possibilities for them to be very versatile, and I think Resonant Rise is the biggest example of that. So where did the idea of optional mods come in?
Yeah, I mean, Resident Rise, they're definitely the ones who pioneered its use. But I mean, we had optional mods back in version 2 when it was just the A Stocky Teams packs. We basically just had at that time a drop down, which was nothing more than selecting, a different set of mods. It's something good to give to the user. I mean, because not everyone's going to want to run, say, Optifine, or there might be different types of maps, and people have their preference. It's not good to, I guess, force people into an option and make them do it manually. It's just kind of one of those user experience things, I guess, to give the user their own choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the user experience, I guess, is a big part of when you're making a launcher. You also have like social stuff like leaderboards in lots of your packs. So what inspired leaderboards?
That was just a fun spur of the moment thing. I mean, back when we only had, say, like 100, 200 users using it, it was good fun to just show, hey, look how much you've played, you're winning, I guess. And it's not something that anyone's ever really done. Don't know why. It's a fun little social thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely cool. It's not quite as like flashy as optional mods, but it's pretty cool, I guess, to see those. I think like statistics in a game like Minecraft, stuff like that. It's one of those things that I think like, oh, why aren't other launchers doing this? That's definitely something that I think that the other guys should get on.
Yeah, I could understand why they wouldn't want to do it. I mean, if you've got a lot of people, that's a lot of data coming in.
True. Yeah, it is a lot to host and manage. Um, I guess ATLauncher, lots of packs that have found home on it are basically lots of YouTube packs. Obviously we mentioned the Yawcraft pack, basically, which was Resonant Rise. And you've had these huge YouTubers basically using the launcher. So why do you think they're using the ATLauncher for their packs? Like, what do you think creates that?
Well, I think we've gone more towards YouTube packs recently. We've definitely been quite popular with the Twitch community in the past. Um, it just, I don't actually know how it came about. I think when Bacon Donut put his original pack Sizzlecraft on the launcher, um, many years ago. I think the kind of word got around that we kind of work with Twitch streamers and get their packs on, and kind of just went from there. And we worked with people like John Bams, again Bacon Donuts, Wild, and a few others that my memory is probably failing me this early in the morning. But yeah, I mean, we went from Twitch, and I guess word got around. I mean, Keyhand is one of our biggest pack makers. Mad Pack, Cranocraft, all those YouTube packs as well. So I think kind of him reaching out and saying to these big YouTubers, "Hey, do you want me to make you a pack and I'll put it on the launcher?" And it kind of just goes from the pack creator's perspective, which is Keyhand, who likes the launcher. He likes ATLauncher. He's been there from the beginning. So that's kind of, I guess, how they end up on ATLauncher is the person who's making them. It's their preference, I guess.
Yeah. And most definitely, like I guess there is a big culture kind of thing to it, where when you're dealing with the YouTube and Twitch community, if you have that kind of I guess just one or two big examples, lots of people, I guess, will gravitate to your platform. Like most recently, you have Revenge of the C Team, which is basically a follow up to Revenge of the B Team, which actually was a big deal on the Technic launcher. So I guess what was it like to kind of follow stuff like that up? I guess with Chimney Swift on a different launcher.
Yeah, well, I mean, this has happened a few times actually. I mean, I've just woken up one morning and had a pack dev say, "Hey, these people want to get on a board," and just like massive shock. Like when it first came out that Yogscast wanted to put an official pack on the launcher, I'm like, "What? That's a massive community. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And then it happened with Mr. Craner and Sunday, and then more recently Chimney Swift with C Team. I mean, it's great. I mean, I don't usually directly work with these people. I mean, they're busy people. They've got their times and schedules. But working with the pack developers and occasionally speaking to the names behind them is pretty cool. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of great people over the years. It's been a good experience.
So I guess with ATLauncher, one of the biggest things you have is with, it's not like Technic where people can just throw out whatever pack they make with basically little to no supervision, and it's more closer more to FTB where you have this curated experience. So I guess were you inspired by FTB for that, or where did you get the idea to, I guess, be very tight and strict on permissions?
Well, I mean, like I said, as we started, it was just a group of 4 YouTubers, and when we expanded out the original team, I guess we weren't all sure about creating a Technic open platform, just because we were kind of new, and kind of doing that opens the floodgates sometimes, and you get a whole bunch of stuff that you don't particularly want. So when we first started, we were protective. People applied, and we said yes or no, I guess, kind of in an FTB kind of way. But we don't make we don't make first party packs anymore. Pretty much everything is all in the same ranks, in terms of there's no ATLauncher made packs. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really any rhyme or reason behind it other than we were so new, and we weren't entirely sure about opening up the floodgates, and that's kind of just how it's stayed for the moment, is keeping it that way, just because opening everything up like Technic does, it kind of, it's a lot of work. I mean, props to the Technic guys. I mean, they must have their hands full sometimes with monitoring and making sure everything's all clean and sanitary.
Well, I mean, lots of the time it, I guess, isn't. I mean, they do a pretty good job of it, but they do. I think Technic, they have at least one person who's literally hired full time to go through their list and basically look for offenders or packs that need to be taken down. So that's definitely, I think, something that I guess requires a lot of resources. So I guess that's why you made the decision to have a much more, I guess, curated approach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for the future, we're definitely looking at opening it up a little bit, opening it up more. Maybe it's we're still kind of discussing it at the moment, but Having this whole curated approach to everything is something that we want to try and get away from and open things up more. And yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think something. I think the community could use another, I guess, open style platform or a platform, because the easier you can make it for, I guess, a mod pack developer, the bigger chance you have of the next big whatever being on your launcher. And I think that's something that's definitely pretty cool. Um, Another thing, more behind the scenes, is with ATLauncher, you have kind of a system for adding mods, and like that's kind of a little bit like Technic Solder, I think. How technically, how does that work? I guess your system for mod pack makers, for them adding and managing and updating mods in a pack.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the beginning, we've had an admin panel, which all pack admins basically get access to, which over the years has grown quite dramatically. Going from having to manage 4 individual YouTubers packs to now managing several hundred, and just the complexity is grown. But basically, it's just pretty much a file manager at the end of the day. You know, the pack developers, they upload their files, and basically we write our definitions in XML, which is not great, but it's very user friendly to write. So yeah, pack devs basically upload their files, they write XML, and yeah, it gets put on the launcher and away they go. And they've got all these options like optional mods, they've got colors, they've got dependencies and child mods and all these other features that we have, which at the moment is pretty manual. Creating a pack on the launcher you'll have varying experience on it. It'll be, for your first time, it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. We try and make it as easy as possible, but it's still a lot of manual work at the moment. And you know, people who've been around for a while, like the Resonant Rise guys and Keyhan and Costo, you know, they've kind of got a handle on it. You know, they know what they're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of new people, it's not exactly great. And you know, if we're going to, you know, be more public and open about it, you know, it's definitely going to be a system that's going to have to change and be kind of easier. Like, I like Curse's way of making mod packs. It's nice and easy. You click install, it does stuff, and it's pretty simple in that regard. I mean, I will say I've not done that for like a year now, but I imagine it's not changed too much.
It is, I think, yeah, beautifully simple, but again, Curse has that advantage of, I guess, being that mod repository, and basically, so that gives them an easy way to basically make an API where, if you have permissions, you can just add literally any pack from their huge repository. But have you ever put thought into, I guess, having a more kind of standardized like API, kind of like Solder, or maybe more like what CurseForge is doing? Like in terms of downloading individual, like you already download individual mods, I guess, but like making that more standardized and easier for pack creators.
It's not been thought in too much. I mean, at the moment, we're basically going through the very early, I guess, informative steps of our next launcher, which is going to include this sort of stuff. But as of if we've thought of it before, we've thought slightly before, very very early on, several years ago, about creating a mod repository. I guess kind of like what Curse does, but in this day and age, you've got to pay modders to pretty much have them on the platform. They, you know, that's why they're on Curse, is because they want to make this little bit of money from their downloads, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're too small to do that. I mean, we've looked into it before. It's not easy, and you know, CurseForge is doing a great job. I don't think anyone's really going to move too far away from that. You know, good on them for doing it. It's good to have finally that central place for it. As to trying to compete with that, it's not going to happen. But again, for an open platform like there is with Technics Solder, it's again, that's one of those things that it's an interesting discussion to kind of think about and have.
Yeah, I mean, maintaining a project like Solder, or I mean, into a much greater extent, something like CurseForge obviously isn't easy. But I guess it would be kind of neat to see ATLauncher one day integrate with one of those things, if not become one of those things, or I guess become more integrated, and just in general with the rest of the community, like with a certain mod repository or with something like Solder, which is, I guess, a system for downloading those mods, independent of the repository, but just kind of creating more of a, I guess, comfortable environment for people already familiar with that stuff.
Yeah, see, I mean, we'd love to integrate, I guess a kind of CurseForge lookup where it's kind of just like CurseForge. You click an install button and it downloads from CurseForge. But I don't think the guys at Curse would actually be okay with that. I think that might be against their TOS. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, whatever happens, look forward to it because I think it's awesome. Obviously, on one end you have Technic and then you have FTB, but or Curse now, which are both huge in their own ways. And ATLauncher is also huge, but I think it's more of kind of there is definitely like an independent spirit about it because Technic's just big on virtue of them being an open platform and having resources, and Curse obviously has even more resources and now basically is FTB. But and then you have the ATLauncher, which occupies this space, which has a surprisingly varied and I think huge, amount of big YouTube packs and just in other independent packs. It's great that they have this home. There's this third choice for them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we're always happy to be that third choice. Our plans in the future is to become one of the competitors to, I guess, Curse and Technic, and kind of just compete with everyone and be the best that we can, I guess.
Well, I think there was
Become the first choice.
there was a stats thing I was looking at, and uh, stuff like Hexit was like obviously insanely popular. It was showing basically official packs, and FTB was on there. But I think ATLauncher, lots of the packs on that were actually showing more downloads than FTB. So I think it's you definitely have the volume and the user base. You're definitely one of the big three. I mean, so that's pretty cool to see.
I think there is only three at the moment now, isn't there? Now that Curse and FTB have joined.
Yeah, but I mean the fact that you're obviously FTB is really well known because they have this really strong centralized community, like a great active Reddit and wiki. But in terms of downloads, I think you guys are actually kind of ahead of FTB. Maybe not overall, but for some of your packs, they're more popular than any of FTB's official packs. If what those stats show is correct, so that's definitely. I think that shows that there is room in this community for other stuff. Like you recently partnered with Nodecraft, and now you have this like bite-sized pack, which is basically a way to introduce newer players to modern Minecraft. You have stuff like this that I think just doesn't exist on FTB or Technic. So you kind of fill in this unique space for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to work with the Nodecraft guys over the last, I think it's been like a year and a half now, since we left Creeper Host and went to Nodecraft, and it's been great working with them. I mean, they're very supportive of what we're trying to do, and they're helping along the way. And yeah, their bite-sized pack, I'd love to get it more recognition, but the current system doesn't allow for that, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been good fun.
Yeah, and I guess they provide the CDN for your packs as well, right?
Yes, that they do. It's trying to host all the amount of traffic we get. I think they said something along the lines of last year it was like 1 petabyte of bandwidth that went through, something like that. And it's just to think at one point I was hosting this all off my own servers, and it's just insane to see how much it's grown from those days of, oh, maybe it's taking a terabyte a year, and now it's grown to such massive scale. It's absolutely jaw dropping.
Yeah, definitely, and it's awesome that you guys have something like Nodecraft backing you, because when you get to be the size of the ATLauncher, you definitely need to step up your backend. So awesome to see that stuff going on. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an honor having you. It's been an honor working, or it's been glad that we finally worked out time zone stuff because we basically live on opposite ends of the globe. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on. And I guess, do you have any closing thoughts?
It's been great talking to you. It's yeah, like I said, it's good that we finally caught up. Opposite ends of the world, all that fun jazz. But yeah, I mean, I guess all I'd say for anyone listening is, you know, we're coming around with our next version hopefully soon, and if you want to get in on it, we've got a Discord channel. If you've got any ideas or any suggestions for us, we're active and open and listening to the community about what they want in a launcher. So yeah, come along, tweet at us, come to our Discord, anything like that. We're happy to hear from you.
Awesome. Well, I think the AT Launcher community and just in general the modern Minecraft community should look forward to that. I look forward personally to seeing a new AT Launcher, so that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on. Hope all of you guys watching enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.